today?
Hello, my name is Clarissa Mercado.
My name is Freddie Rodriguez. We are both undergraduate students at the University of St. Thomas. Our research was led by Dr. Lenny Wade and Dr. Victoria Wagner. And our study focuses on machismo attributes and emotional expression of boys from Hispanic background. So the U.S. Hispanic population has reached nearly 61 million in 2019, and it's projected that by the year 2060, there will be more than 119 million Hispanics in the U.S. So this is definitely a group that deserves attention in terms of mental health. After our experiences during our internships with children incoming the country as immigrants and asylum seeking, we saw that absence of concern for mental health and moreover that inability of kids to express those emotions during sessions due to that machismo attributes and that machismo personality that is so often a characteristic within Hispanic communities. So this is definitely a topic that deserves attention. Looking at the gap in the literature, we came across different studies that look at the ability to express emotions, but it focused more on groups such as Cubans, such as college students, and Mexican American adolescents. Our study looks at Hispanic adolescents as a group of interest. So the machismo aspect has been seen in Hispanic culture with relation to other factors such as domestic violence, identity, sexual behavior, but it hasn't been looked as its relation to emotional expression, meaning that ability to express emotions. So the purpose of this scale development or study is to examine the relationship between emotional expression and the machismo aspect in Hispanic males under the age of 18, but that are able to read and are able to answer questionnaire independently. Our prediction is that Hispanic males under the age of 18 who show high levels of machismo will show lower levels of emotional expression, and vice versa, meaning that those that score low on machismo attributes will score higher on their ability to express emotions. So our methods. So our qualifications in order to participate in this study we were targeting underage males under the age of 18, but those old enough to be able to comprehend and answer the questionnaire independently, meaning without the help of an adult. We didn't want that to influence. Our design was a correlation design that studied the relationship between emotional expression and the machismo aspect in Hispanic males. Our materials for scales, we use an English version and a Spanish version of a 26 question long questionnaire. We're both powered by Google Forms. The 13-item machismo scale, and it was also a 20-item attitudes towards emotional expression scale. We use both to make that comparison. And our procedure, we recruited participants at a Hispanic congregation here in the Houston area. Participants were asked to complete an online questionnaire by providing, first off, their demographic information, meaning their name, their age, and of course, their ethnic background. And then they answer a series of questions related to identifying the machismo attributes and 4 more questions measuring their emotional expression levels.
So the analysis only focuses on 104 out of the 105 participants that participated in the study. The one participant who was not included in the study was due to the fact that they answered female on the demographic question about gender. But overall, the majority of the participants identified themselves as Mexican American males whose average age was around 13, which can be seen on Table 1. Also, the majority of the participants were in the middle ages, and collectively, the machismo level among the participants was slightly above average, while the emotional expression level among the participants was slightly below average, which can be seen on Table 2. Because our main interest was to determine if there was a relationship between machismo and the ability to express emotions, we further examined the data by running a reliability analysis for the machismo scale, a factor analysis, and a correlational matrix between the scales. The results of the reliability analysis for the machismo attributes scale showed that there was an excellent internal consistency between the 13 items, which can be seen on Table 3. Also, the results of the exploratory factor analysis for the machismo scale showed that all the items needed to remain so that the overall machismo scale could be an excellent internal consistency, which can be seen on tables 4 and 5. And furthermore, after running a correlational matrix, machismo attributes and emotional expression were found to be moderately negatively correlated, which can be seen on table 6. And after collecting data and running statistics on it, we determined that the Machismo scale did indeed measure what it was intended to measure. So the Machismo scale supported our hypothesis that individuals that showed high levels of Machismo attributes were less likely to show vulnerability in terms of emotional expression. These findings provide some slight additional support for true experimental studies, concluding that machismo and emotional expression play a fundamental role in raising Hispanic adolescent children who are living in the United States. And also, conclusions from this study are limited by a few considerations, such as sample size, comparison group, and controlled age range.
The main focus of the study was to provide insight for further studies in the same area and to look at approaches in terms of dealing with these children and knowing how to approach them in terms of being able to know that being vulnerable and expressing their emotions is part of the process and it's part of their identity, and they should never be too afraid to show that aspect. So we hope that this serves as a starting point for further research in the same area. And we thank you all for attending our presentation.